Hey guys, I'm Cassie Cameron, founder of Mind High Club, and today I'm here with the amazing Clare Woodward, who's a kinesiologist and life coach, and she's going to tell us all about what kinesiology is and why it's awesome. So let's start with, what is kinesiology?
Kinesiology. It is a holistic modality, which means that we're working with the physical, emotional, mental and spiritual aspects of a person. And the great thing about working with a holistic modality is that you're really working with the whole intelligence of somebody, which is really important when it comes to clearing stress effectively, right? We want to be looking at it from all of those aspects. And so while it is a holistic modality, it's based on Chinese medicine and chiropractics. All you really need to understand with that, from a Chinese medicine perspective, wherever you've got blocked energy, blocked qi, you're going to be blocked and it's going to show up physically, emotionally, mentally and spiritually. The chiropractics part of it is, back in the 60s, there was a chiropractor called Dr. John Goodhart, and he identified that every major muscle has a corresponding relationship with an organ. From a Chinese medicine perspective, wherever you've got your meridian channels, they're connected to organs. And so through Chinese medicine and chiropractics, all of a sudden there was this relationship in which you could really work with the human body in a really holistic way.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing, right? And then through the chiropractics, we started working with a muscle testing technique. So muscle testing is a wonderful tool in which we evaluate what's going on for a person holistically, right? So for instance, with acupuncture, for instance, with Chinese medicine, if somebody goes in for an acupuncture session, in order for them to work out what they're actually working with, they'll evaluate the body by doing, say, pulse testing, or they'll look at sort of the tone of the skin, the body odor, and they'll make some sort of evaluation based on what they can assess, right? That's in acupuncture. So with the kinesiology, by using muscle testing, we're able to use it as an evaluation tool to identify what's going on for somebody's body. So if I explain it sort of from the perspective of being in a session, right? So every kinesiologist works differently, but for the sessions that I run, they're usually 90 minutes long. First 30 minutes is chatting, evaluating what's going on for somebody. And then they get up on the massage table and they'll lie flat on their back and they'll have their arm up like this, and I'll work with this muscle here. And the idea is that it'll start in a locked position, and then when we start asking the body questions, it'll start unlocking to give us information as to where the stress is, what's causing the stress, and most importantly, what we need to do to actually get that stress moving. So if you come back to that Chinese medicine perspective where it's like everything is about moving the blocked qi, the muscle testing is able to tell you where that blocked qi is and what you need to do to actually get it moving. The best part with the muscle testing especially is that it overrides the conscious mind and really taps into the subconscious mind and the subconscious body, which is really important because research shows that, you know, the conscious mind is about 5% and the subconscious is 95%. You really want to be tapping into that subconscious mind and the subconscious body to really identify what the stresses are and what's actually causing the stresses.
Yeah.
The conscious mind will be very attached to the story, it'll be very attached to what we think is going on, but we want to really tap into that sort of intelligence of the body because the body knows what it needs to get itself back into balance. We literally just need to be able to listen to it and to follow through with what it says. And so by combining these two modalities, you really do have access to all of that information. And then you do it and you feel amazing.
Oh my God, it's actually so amazing. Like, what I find fascinating about it is how all of this is stored in your body and you can just tap into it, and it's almost so simple, it's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. Because we've overcomplicated everything. The body knows what it needs. We just need to be able to work out what it's saying and then do what it tells us. Yeah, and it's about bringing all of those sort of awarenesses out of the subconscious mind. So it's amazing. We're very lucky to have it.
And so it sounds like an incredible modality to say. So what are the main benefits of it?
The benefits, honestly, are enormous and endless, right? So I suppose when someone comes in for a session, the main thing that they'll sort of report when they leave, sort of, or when the session is done, is that they feel lighter, they feel more peaceful, more relaxed, and whatever it was that they felt was burdening them seems to have lifted, right? But if you're coming in for sort of physical complaints, for instance, you're going to find that either the physical symptoms will sort of either diminish or they'll go away completely. Benefits from an emotional, mental perspective, you'll become more resilient, you'll become more positive, more empowered. People sort of report that they have a greater sense, I suppose, of harmony within themselves and sort of with the world around them. But I guess the main benefit, if you understand it from the perspective of like, you become less reactive and you become more responsive. So a lot of those things in the subconscious mind, that 95%, are all due to like childhood programs, things that we experienced in our teenage years, stresses and traumas that have kind of been stored there, like it's like a big computer system. And so it's storing all of this information. And so when we have something stressful in our adult lives, for instance, we just react because we sort of default into those old ways of reacting. With kinesiology, when you start to clear those stresses, all of a sudden there's space created for you to be more responsive. And in that space to be more responsive, you get to choose consciously how you actually want to respond to a situation. Now that doesn't mean that you're 100% non-reactive all the time, right? I have a lot of kinesiology, but I still react to certain things. But the difference is you react and you become aware of your reaction and you're like, that's indicating that there's some charge around this, there's some emotional sort of charge or blockage, and it then gives you space to go, well, I need to look at that as well.
Right,
Yeah, so you literally just become a better human.
Oh, that's a good reason.
Yeah, exactly. You literally do.
So when it comes to mental health specifically, not that it's separate from physical health really, but when it comes to mental health, what are the main benefits kinesiology can offer for stress and anxiety and low mood particularly? Yeah.
So I think in order to be able to understand how it can benefit like anxiety, low mood, depression, all those things, you need to understand that all of those things are being kind of held and experienced because of blocked energy, right? So it's coming back to this sort of traditional Chinese medicine energy, right? This idea. Wherever you've got blocked energy, you'll have a blocked emotion. So if you understand that emotions are energy in motion, if they don't get honoured and sort of experienced in their totality, they become stuck. So therefore, when energy is stuck, it then manifests in anxiety, depression, and low mood and all the rest, right? So with kinesiology, with every session, what you'll be doing is you'll be muscle testing to identify on a subconscious level what emotion this is connected to. And then by identifying the emotion and then doing the technique, you're going to be able to shift the stuck energy. So as I said at the beginning, the muscle testing is able to guide us as to what technique you need to do, right, in order to get that energy shifting. It's not the practitioner saying, right, I think because of this issue, you need this particular sort of nutrient, or you need this particular sort of affirmation, right? The body is going to guide us based on like a whole range of things that you're testing from.
Yeah.
When you understand that every emotion that's stuck is really kind of holding some sort of imbalance with either a neurotransmitter or a hormone, something on a gut level, when you start to understand it from that perspective, the muscle testing will then guide you as to like, okay, so it's connected to this particular hormone, and then you can do a technique to shift that energy, and then all of a sudden you'll find that the symptoms of anxiety and depression, they start to dissipate.
Right, so it's really about, first of all, uncovering what's causing it, that's stored in your body, and then also using your body to uncover what is the remedy or process for that solution.
Yeah, so exactly.
And
if you do understand that all of the whatever it is that you're sort of experiencing, especially from a mental health perspective, if you can really understand that it is because there'll be some unprocessed emotion connected to some sort of situation, event, trauma, person in your life, when you're able to then identify, and not consciously, it's not about someone coming in and saying like, right, so I think it's about this person. They could have that awareness, but the beauty of it is once they get on the massage table, the body is able to guide us to say, okay, so yes, we'll start with that particular person if you use that as an example, but the muscle testing might take us back to the age of 5, and then you'll ask questions around, so what was going on at 5, or who was in your life at 5? And you'll usually find that the program in there, in the computer system effectively, is actually connected to a much younger age, which consciously you wouldn't necessarily go to. No, exactly, which is why it's so good. It really just gets you and the practitioner out of the way, so the body will say, this is actually what it's about. And then we test, and this is what it's affecting, and then it's like, and do this, and it will go away.
It's like amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm like, this is.
Yeah.
But well, you know, I mean, I've experienced lots of great positive benefits from this myself. It's really deep shifts. I think it's just your body does know. So for people that are curious about kinesiology, how do you know that it's right for you or the right time for you to try it?
I think experiencing the session is a must, right? So it's almost like if you are drawn to do it, you're better off just following through and giving it a go, because in the experience itself, the results will speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've been doing this work for a really long time, and trying to explain kinesiology, sometimes it can just seem too weird and too wacky.
Yeah.
But once you actually get in there, like I said, the results will speak for themselves. So I think that's one way that people need to sort of just give it a go. But I think you'll know that it's for you if you do experience things like anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
Physical stuff as well, if you've got any sort of physical complaint, whether it be like pain and tension in the body, or it could be like adrenal stuff, it could be thyroid stuff, reproductive, insomnia, weight, any sort of physical thing, kinesiology can work with. But you'll also know it's for you if, for instance, if the relationships in your life don't look the way that you want them to look, right? Be it friendships, intimate relationships, relationships with your boss, financial stuff, career, you're not where you want to be, or you want to get that promotion but you feel like you always miss out. If you take a step back in your life and you look at your life sort of from that perspective and think, well, where in my life am I not living my potential? That's an indication that kinesiology is something that you probably want to consider, right? Because what it does is it clears all of those blocks that are preventing you from being your best self effectively. And then as a result, when you change the way you're showing up in the world around you starts to show up differently. And then you start to just experience pretty much what you want in life. So you'll know it's for you for a whole range of reasons. Again, like I said before, if you just want to be a better human and you want to have a better experience of life where it is more peaceful and it's more harmonious and you feel like you're more connected to yourself, then yeah, kinesiology is definitely something you want to consider.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Lots of good reasons.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
so good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for sharing
Pleasure. Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, kinesiology has been life-changing, not just for me, but for so many people that I've had the honour and privilege of working with. And, you know, a lot of people will sort of say, you know, I mean, I have a lot of clients and I have a lot of repeat clients that continue to work on stuff. And people will always say to me, they're just like, you know, how have you got such a busy clinic? And it's like, it's because it works. And most of my business is through referrals for that exact reason, because people are like, right, they have conversations, and when someone has some sort of block around something, they're like, oh, go have a kinesiology session. Because like I said, yeah, it just works.
Including me.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, there you have it, all about kinesiology and why it's awesome with Claire. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.